Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're standing in a place where history is not just remembered, it's felt. We are at the Berlin Wall Memorial on Bernauer Strasse, a site that tells one of the most powerful stories of the 20th century. This isn't just a tourist spot, it's a scar on the city, a testament to division, and a symbol of reunion. For almost 3 decades, the Berlin Wall wasn't just a structure of concrete and barbed wire. It was the Iron Curtain made real, a brutal line that sliced through streets, homes, and human lives. Here on Bernauer Strasse, that division was especially cruel. One side of the street was in the east, the other in the west. Imagine waking up one morning to find your city, your neighborhood, your very life, cut in two. On August 13, 1961, the nightmare began. East German soldiers rolled out barbed wire, tearing families apart overnight. The windows of the apartment buildings on the eastern side of this street suddenly overlooked a different world, a world of freedom. People became desperate. In the early days, they jumped from these windows, hoping to land in the west, with West Berlin firefighters holding safety nets below. It was a terrifying leap of faith, but the East German regime quickly sealed these escape routes, breaking up the windows and later demolishing the buildings entirely. What was left was a death strip, a barren, heavily guarded no man's land designed to make escape impossible. And that's what makes this memorial so unique. It preserves a genuine full-length section of that death strip. As we walk along the memorial, you can see the layers of this deadly border system. First, there's the inner wall, the one that faced East Berlin. Then, you see the patrol road, the anti-vehicle trenches, and the daunting watchtowers. And finally, the outer wall, the one the world saw, often covered in graffiti on its western side. Here, it's all preserved, sandwiched between two towering steel walls that mark its original dimensions. Standing here, you can truly feel the scale and the oppressive nature of the wall. Let's head over to the observation tower. From up here, you get a chilling bird's-eye view of the entire death strip. You can see the original watchtower, a stark concrete pillar from which guards had orders to shoot anyone attempting to cross. It's a sobering perspective. You realize the immense courage it took for people to even think about escaping. This wasn't just a wall. It was a sophisticated killing machine. Over 140 people are known to have died at the Berlin Wall, trying to reach freedom. Each one has a story, and this memorial honors them. One of the most heartbreaking is that of Ida Siekmann, the very first casualty. She was a 58-year-old nurse who lived on Bernauer Strasse, just 9 days after the border was closed. She threw bedding out of her third-floor window and jumped, tragically dying from her injuries. Her story, and many others, are remembered here at the Window of Remembrance, a powerful monument featuring photos of the victims. Looking at their faces, you see students, workers, mothers, and fathers, ordinary people who paid the ultimate price for liberty. Another poignant feature of this site is the Chapel of Reconciliation. It stands on the grounds of a church that was dynamited by the East German government in 1985 simply because it stood in the death strip. The new chapel is a modern, beautiful structure made of rammed earth. It's a place for quiet reflection, not just on the division, but also on the miracle of reconciliation that followed. It reminds us that even from the deepest wounds, healing is possible. Now, let's explore the outdoor exhibition. All along the former border strip, you'll find audio and visual stations telling the personal stories of this street. You can listen to eyewitness accounts, hear the voices of those who tried to escape, and understand the daily reality for people living in the shadow of the wall. The ground is marked with steel plates showing where tunnels were dug. These weren't grand Hollywood operations. They were desperate, dangerous efforts by students, families, and friends, digging with their bare hands to rescue loved ones. Tunnel 57, for example, allowed 57 people to escape before it was discovered. It's a powerful reminder of human ingenuity and the unbreakable desire for freedom. Just a bit further down, you see these steel poles. These represent the hinterland wall, the first barrier people in East Berlin would have to overcome. They are spaced just wide enough to walk through, giving you a sense of claustrophobia, a ghost of the barrier that once stood here. As you walk through them, you step into what was the death strip, and for a moment, you can imagine the terror of that journey. The main documentation center is an absolute must-visit. Inside, you'll find a detailed exhibition that puts everything into a broader historical context. It explains the political climate of the Cold War, the reasons for the wall's construction, and the daily life in a divided city. It details the protests that grew in the 1980s and the series of events that led to the wall's sudden, almost unbelievable fall. The photographs and documents are incredibly moving. You see the joy, the disbelief, and the pure ecstasy on the faces of Berliners as they stream through the checkpoints on the night of November 9, 1989. That night was a turning point for the world. After a confusing press conference where an East German official mistakenly announced that travel restrictions were lifted effective immediately, crowds gathered at the border crossings. The overwhelmed and confused guards, without clear orders, eventually opened the gates. People surged through, many in tears, hugging strangers from the other side. The party that followed lasted for days. People climbed the wall, chipping away at it with hammers and chisels. They became Mauerspecht, or wall woodpeckers. This hated symbol of oppression was being dismantled by the very people it was built to contain. The fall of the Berlin Wall wasn't just a political event, it was a profoundly human one. It was about families reuniting after decades, friends seeing each other again, and a city finally becoming whole. And that's the ultimate message of the Berlin Wall Memorial. It doesn't just document the horror of division, it celebrates the triumph of the human spirit. It shows us that walls can be torn down, that division is not permanent, and that the fight for freedom, no matter how difficult, is always worth it. Visiting the Berlin Wall Memorial is a deeply emotional experience. It's more than just a history lesson. It's a walk through a landscape of memory, loss, and ultimately, hope. It's a reminder of what can happen when ideologies divide us and a powerful monument to the courage of those who defied it. It forces us to reflect on the meaning of freedom and the walls, both physical and metaphorical, that still exist in our world today. This place is a quiet teacher. It doesn't shout, it whispers its stories through the remnants of steel and concrete, through the faces in the photographs, and through the very ground beneath our feet. It's a vital part of understanding not just Berlin's history, but modern world history. So if you ever find yourself in Berlin, make time for Bernauer Strasse. Come here, walk the line, listen to the stories, and remember. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey today. This place has a power that's hard to capture on camera, but I hope we've given you a sense of its importance. If you found this video insightful and want to explore more places where history comes alive, please hit that like button and consider subscribing to the channel. Your support helps us continue to bring these stories to you. Until next time, stay curious.